politicians on planet Earth just pronounced dead. One of the biggest proponents of globalization and an enemy of the American way of life has died. Peter Sutherland's sole purpose was to destroy our country and promote a one-world government. America has suffered greatly thanks to this man. Unfortunately, he died before he could succeed at his goal. Sutherland was not just a threat to our country, but he was a dangerous threat to many other countries around the world. We have seriously dodged a bullet with this news, but there are still many other people out there who would love to see America fail. Sutherland was a key player in the disastrous open border policies that destroyed many countries in Europe. Because of this man, Europe is teetering on the brink of war thanks to the waves of immigrants streaming in from the Middle East. These immigrants are taking over countries and destroying the European way of life. America was not far behind Europe, but fortunately, things began to stall when President Trump was elected. The only thing that could stop Sutherland from trying to destroy America was his death. Unfortunately for us, that is indeed the case. According to Breitbart, Peter Sutherland, the notorious mass migration and multiculturalism campaigner dubbed the father of globalization, has died. Sutherland, 71, was a key player on a host of globalist bodies and multinational corporations, including the European Commission, the World Trade Organization, WTO, and Goldman Sachs International throughout his life. As the United Nations Special Representative for Migration and non-executive chairman of Goldman Sachs International in 2012, he infamously remarked that the European Union should be doing its best to undermine the sense of national homogeneity in Britain and Europe in order to pave the way for multicultural societies. The United States, or Australia and New Zealand, are migrant societies and therefore they accommodate more readily those from other backgrounds than we do ourselves, who still nurse a sense of our homogeneity and difference from others, he told the House of Lords. And that's precisely what the European Union, in my view, should be doing its best to undermine. The Ireland-born globalist argued that the supposed threat of an aging population was the key argument for the development of multicultural states, and that the EU should push mass migration, however difficult it may be to explain this to the citizens. Sutherland had previously served on the bloc's unelected executive as European Commissioner for Competition from 1985 to 1989. Sutherland is a celebrated figure among neoliberals and hardline free traders for his work presiding over the Uruguay round negotiations of the General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade, the predecessor to the WTO. This saw tariffs on agriculture, textiles, services, and so on reduced, and new rules on international arbitration and intellectual property introduced. Corporates and idealistic free marketeers were overjoyed, with figures like the pioneering Brexit campaigner Sir James Goldsmith serving as lonely voices for economic nationalism. The GATT did increase economic activity worldwide, and the European Commission took the unusual step of personally rebuking Sir James, asserting that all economic activity is productive regardless of the harm caused by the mass outsourcing of industry and manufacturing to sweatshop economies. The entrepreneur disagreed, complaining that the politicians and technocrats who govern us concentrate the political, economic and social programs on initiatives whose principal purpose is to make GNP grow quantitatively without regard to its impact on society. Sir James further observed that globalists like Sutherland seemed unable to distinguish between a nation and a commercial enterprise. The globalists will stop at nothing to destroy America, and they know that we are the only countries standing in the way of their coveted one-world government. These people were so close to succeeding, but fortunately Donald Trump was elected and Hillary was defeated. If Clinton had been elected, our country would look completely different right now, and men like Peter Sutherland would be having the way with our country. Immigration would be out of control and crime would increase exponentially. The safety of the American people is at stake, and we deserve to have leaders who have our best interest. Thankfully, Sutherland is gone and can no longer have any influence on anyone.